Hi everyone, this is to show you, video is to show you how to code your data using Nivivo. Coding is the process by which you assign labels or words to ideas as they appear in documents. For some reason Nivivo calls codes nodes, and you'll see over on the left hand side here there is a thing called nodes. And I've created a couple of nodes already as I was practicing. So I'm just going to show you how the options for creating these nodes and what these nodes can then be used for in terms of doing your analysis. So I'll leave nodes open. I already have my document open here that I plan on coding. So coding in the interpretive sense basically requires you to read the document and apply codes as ideas emerge. So first things first, the introduction: celebrities are human brands. So I can select this and I have to decide how much I'm going to select. I think I'm going to select the entire first sentence, and I'm going to right click and say code. So I'm going to create a new node down the bottom here. I'm going to call one of a node celebrity, and because it also talks about human brands, which is a different concept, I'm also going to add human brand. And because I had celebrity selected, it created the human brand as a subcode to the celebrity code. So I now have this sentence coded with two different codes, celebrity and human brands, that are related to each other. And I hit OK, and I can continue reading. Their value in life choices and private, This is a bit boring to read along with, but I'm just going to go to the next sentence here. So this paper extends human brands as well-known others by analyzing. So this is also referring to human brands. So I can either hit code again, or because I just created a code to recent nodes, I can go code that one because it's talking about human brands again. So the recent development in branding literature shifts attention from merely focusing on brand image or brand differentiation to include brand identity in the total brand equity. So this sentence has a lot of different ideas coming up in this one. So I can code this. I'll create a new node, which I'm going to call branding. And then I'm going to create subnodes here to refer to all the different other ideas that came up. So I'm going to also create a new node called brand image, and another new node called brand differentiation. And oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I'll rearrange them later, it doesn't really matter. Branding, one more, brand identity, and we see, and brand equity. So as we go through, we have other things here. So celebrities, human brand identity as a multiple dimension classification. So if I take this whole sentence, which is quite long, this one I can code it recent, I hope. No, I'm going to have to select code, and this is referring to brand identity. So I select that one and say OK. And it also brings up this idea of service dominant logic and brand logic. So I might just put this under, I'm not sure whether I want to have a new node yet, so I'm just going to code this under branding for now, and I can come back later and be more specific if I want to. So then we have ideas of brand identity and co-creation process. So I can select this sentence and select brand identity again. Okay. But I also want to add a new code, which I think is separate, but might be separate, not sure. We'll just call it a new node, and we can decide later, called co-creation. And okay. So you see in the nodes here that I've only used the one document so far, but it shows what I have coded at each of the different references. So the number of times I have coded something using this code. So if I go back to my sources and I select a different source, I'm just trying to find one that might be at all related. We'll do Kerrigan and Hart. So this one's Theorizing Digital Personhood, a Dramaturgical Study. So this is people's starting about researching consumption and identity. So we have identity and identity coming back up again, but not necessarily brand identity. So I'm going to code, and under brand identity, I'm going to create a new node just called identity. When I review these later, I need to decide whether identity and brand identity are the same thing. So I can be as specific or as large in my selection as I like. So I can just decide that this whole paragraph refers to identity. I can select the whole paper and say that this relates to a code. So it's up to you in terms of your unit of analysis, whether you go sentence by sentence or paragraph or some larger section. So I've done a couple of documents now, so I can show you just imagine that I've done lots and lots of documents. So when you go into nodes and I want to see everything that's being coded at identity or branding, I can click on the node, and you'll see within this source everything that I have coded to say brand identity. So I can then compare across documents what each of those documents says about brand identity. So this is one form of coding that is what we call emergent coding or grounded coding. The other way you can do it is simply, if you know what you are looking for, you can just right-click in nodes and create new nodes, and you can create what we call a coding frame. So if you know you're looking for things on branding, celebrity, co-creation, framing, and simplification, you can create those codes before you start. And so therefore, once you start reading documents, all you have to do is code things to these existing ideas that you are looking for. So that's another way of doing it, but it does assume that you know what you're looking for. So therefore, you know when you see it. So this is coding. After this, there's going to be another video that shows you how to do search functions once you are more clear about what you're looking for.